welcome back to the Dolden Details channel. Right, this week we are with Sam's Detailing UK. Yes, you might remember that video when I cleaned my neighbour's dirty car. Well, he's bought another one and it's dirty. Not quite as dirty as the other one. You need to check that video out. This week we're going to just be doing a very quick maintenance wash on it with some new stuff sent down from Sam's. Stick around for this one because there is a giveaway right at the end. We're going to be giving away one of these, the Christmas kit. So stick around for this one. Okay, so what did Uncle Sam send down? Well, first of all, in no particular order, he sent down some rather big buckets, which you'll see in a minute, complete with the grit guards. He sent down a rather nice wash mitt with a handle in it so you don't lose it and drop it on the floor. He sent down a bottle for decanting your liquids in, a drying towel, well caught, some spray wax. I don't often see spray waxes these days. Some exterior detailer, a shampoo, some all-purpose cleaner, and some microfiber wash, which I've yet to use. Now, as it's getting near the festive period, you should be starting on your snacks early. Get those little Christmas tree pretzels, big bowl of them, and about a pint of Bombay Sapphire. Just a bit of ice, a bit of lemon, and roll the video. So here we go then, here's the lineup. These are the buckets. Got the old boxes down there. You're supposed to tick those or mark them with some sort of a permanent marker so you can see which one's which. Wash or rinse, all wheels. And here we go for the full lineup, all apart from the microfiber wash. I've got to put a smalls wash in. Haven't done one yet. No, I'm not wearing dirty underpants, I just haven't done a wash. Me cloths, obviously. Dear oh dear. Microfiber wash mitt and a drying towel. Ready for the off. Massive shout out to the Weekend Warriors. They ran a competition on Instagram and this was my prize. The All Black 9 series from Direct Hoses. The Detailers pack. I'm one very lucky boy. And no, it wasn't fixed, before you start shouting in the comment section. Now, if you watch this closely, it may seem to be lacking in a very small amount of pressure. More about that very soon. All-purpose cleaner, and they have bungs in their liquid products to stop them leaking in transit. Brilliant idea. So don't go and pull the trigger and think your trigger's broke. It's because it's got a bung in the end. Top tip, check your bungs. 50 ml in this bottle, topped up around about 900 ml of water, and straight in for the kill. Start degreasing those tyres. First impressions of this stuff is it smells fantastic. And considering how little we're using, it seems to be doing a pretty good job. Schoolboy area here, using a small easy wheel brush, not the large one. That was corrected on the rear wheels. I don't know why I picked it up. I thought small smokes, small brush, why not? Yeah, could have got away with a bigger one. No one's perfect. So even with speeded up footage, you can see the grime start to ooze out. Never underestimate a decent all-purpose cleaner. Now, smell might not be important to some people. I've got a few all-purpose cleaners and they can be quite strong and a bit intoxicating, but this is very pleasant to use. So no need for any fallout removers. There's nothing really caked on. This is just purely road grime, to be honest with you. Atlas to brush. So even though we're doing a bit of mild cleaning here, I'm still going to use a chemical resistant brush. And in with the Monster from Kiln. They're quite good, these cloths. You can of course use an older wash mitt. I thought I'd give it a go. I mixed it up a bit this week. Why not? He'll get that bit on the left there. He'll get that spoke in a minute. Come on, Paul, speed up. Yay, got it. Rinsey poos now. So while I'm rinsing down, there was a a small issue with this machine. I've been in touch with Rob from Weekend Warriors. He owns the same machine, and his pressure reading on his gauge was reading different to mine. So I took my adjustment screw out, where you adjust your pressure, and found out one of the O-rings had moved. Put it all back together and it is fine now. Now this may have happened in the factory, I'm not too sure, but we'll be contacting Direct Hoses about this, just to let them know. I'm still very, very grateful for the machine. It's nice to use actually, it's nice and light, it's quiet, it's a reasonable amount of pressure. I think it's the equivalent to a Neil Fisk C110 in power. So once again, the old Vikan coming into play. Nice and soft, you can't do any damage with this. It's soft on the outside of it, it's got like a rubber exterior, so you can't scratch any surfaces. And another rinse. Now, when it comes to the wipers, I've never actually shown me doing this because I've never really felt the need, but these were horrendous. I took one look at them and they were green, caked in grime and grit, and you will see in a minute how much crap came off these. It was scary. Yeah, grimacing, try not to get too wet, Paul. So how much crud can you actually get off a set of wipers? Well, this much. Yeah, just off the wiper blades. So with that in mind, I thought, you know what, I'm going to rinse the whole car down. So even though this machine was running at a reduced pressure, unbeknown to me, it seemed to do a pretty good job. So obviously there'll be a full review on this machine coming up. So one thing you do get in it is that actual swivel adapter. You get your quick release system, you get the lance, 10 metre hose. So for super duper speeded up footage, it was on to complete the rinse stage. One thing I did notice was the rails on the roof. Green grime was coming out of them. That took several hits. And of course, not forgetting the flap area. Everyone knows I like a good flap. Valet Pro brush this week. Nice soft brush. It's not really grimy, but we might as well do it while we're here. Last thing we want is while we're rinsing it down to have all green crap run down the door. So front grille treated as well, so the all-purpose cleaner. Any bug splats should be removed. Rear is always worse. Now I'm going to do this because this is actually a good way of getting a pre-wash on. And you're probably going to think, well, why not just snow foam it? Well, if you do this first, obviously this is going to be stronger. But I am going to run the same chemical through the lance. So all the time this is dwelling, this is softening up the grime. So go up the side of the doors. You can of course do your door jambs under the bonnet and the tailgate, inside the tailgate as well. I need to adjust my jet. Mind you, good aim. Now, funny enough, the window rubbers weren't particularly bad. There is a tree on my neighbour's drive, which seems to do the most damage with dropping crap all over the car, but these bits weren't that bad, but nevertheless we're going to give them a going over anyway. Yes, I decided to use all-purpose cleaner as a pre-wash. Why not? One thing you can do after a pre-wash, you can actually put shampoo in your lance. That might seem wasteful, that actually more or less supercharges it. Now all the time we've got the other pre-wash, or the same pre-wash underneath, but obviously this is diluting it slightly. 100 ml of this in the lance, same product, and still foams up. So give this around about 10 minutes. 10 minutes dwell time. That's what it looks like when it's dwelling. So remember, the same product, we've cleaned the wheels, we've cleaned the tyres, the lower parts. Now we're using it as a full-on pre-wash. Now of course you can get their pre-wash, you can get their citrus pre-wash, you can get their snow foam. But why not just use what we've got? Bearing in mind, this is running at a slightly reduced pressure. You still did a pretty capable job, I'd say. Now, apart from some tar spots, which are just left there on the right, this is pretty impressive. And yes, it's not minging. What do you think I am? Detail geek? So after a thorough rinsing down and blowing copious amounts of leaves out of everywhere for some unknown reason, it's onto the wash stage. Nice wash mitt. It's got a strap inside of this so you don't drop it on the floor. Shampoo. Yeah, don't get water on your glasses. You can't see. 2 healthy glugs in a bucket. Agitate with the lance. So first impressions, it's not the most lathery. It's fairly adequate, but what it lacks in foam, it makes up with the lube. And to me, that's more important. If it glides over the panel, less chance of any marring. Don't forget your mirrors. Must have got serious. He's took his hat off. Hashtag thermal t-shirt. On for another rinse down stage. And yes, there is a speck of something dribbling its way down the door. Be gone, be gone. Yes, gone. One thing I will say about this lance is nice and light. Now I don't know what this is, but I think it came out the centre aisle in Lidl's. It looks like luncheon meat. Very odd. Exterior detailer. I'm going to use this as a rinse aid. Of course it wasn't luncheon meat. Oh, Paul, you're so funny. It was the drying towel. It was a joke. Never mind. So I decided to do the entire one side of the car. Pretty effective, this stuff. So already we're getting some form of protection on the car. It's quite difficult to see with the camera the actual gloss on this car being silver. So once you've done this with the drying towel, which seems to be pretty capable, this drying towel, you can then buff up with a separate microfiber, and then of course we are going to follow this up with a blow dry. I've got them on the brain, I know why, it's near Christmas. So if you haven't got a warm air blaster, grab a pet blower, or nick your indoors hairdryer, why not? But really, these are fantastic bits of kit to have. If you can get one of these, I'll put a link to the video. And that is one of the worst places. The old mirror dribble runs down the door. So the reason you do this is if you're going to put any dressings on, they're going to adhere to the tyre better. And it's just good practice. Spray wax next. Give this bottle a damn good shake. So what I did find immediately is it is pretty thick stuff. When you're spraying the panels, make sure you do it on the lower parts if you're going to spray the car. Now I am to show both procedures, spraying the panels and spraying the cloth. The reason you're probably going to want to spray the cloth is because of the overspray which goes on the glass. It can be a tad messy. Now you can remove it, it's quite simple. Do a few panels at a time, let it haze like you would a wax, and then just buff it off. It's that simple. But work from the lower part up if you're going to spray it on the panels. Just a bit of a tip for you, or just do it this way and just spray it on the cloth. So you can see on the right that bit's buffed, you can see it curing on the left. Once you've done that, remove the chocks away. It's time to dress the tyres with some Carpro Perl, and that is it, ladies and gents. Roll the end shots. Okay, the Vauxhall Zafira Battle Bus looks nice and glossy, it's clean and it's protected. But most importantly, was my neighbour happy? Yes, he was. He was very, very happy. So thanks to John for letting me do his car, and thanks to Sam for sending down the products. But what do we actually think about the products now? These were sent down for free and I'm very, very grateful, but I have to give you my honest opinion and maybe some pointers along the way. So the buckets, now the buckets are great. They've got the labels on them, but you've got those tick boxes down the bottom, the wash, the rinse, the wheels. Now I'd like to see colour-coded handles or maybe some different labels, maybe white stickers or white handles for wash and red for rinse. Just a little bit of an observation, because I can't really see you going like that and craning your neck every time to see if you've got the right bucket. Now you should be able to tell, but after a while obviously soap suds get mixed in the buckets and it gets a little bit confusing. I've actually changed mine by putting a different grit guard in mine. I've got the sloping style, washboard style, so I actually know which bucket is which. I'll soon find out when I put my hand in. It's just my way around it. So that's a little bit of a pointer. you know, those were the buckets. When it comes to the chemicals, all-purpose cleaner, 50ml in here for the lower parts of the car. If it's really dirty, you can up that, you know, make it a bit stronger, maybe put 80 or 100ml in. That works, and I love the smell of this stuff. Also, when you put it in a cannon, it's obviously going to dilute. Now, it's not really normal practice to put all-purpose cleaner in cannons, but you can put shampoo in there, you can put snow foam, so why not? And it gets it over the car, and it did a pretty good job. So that was the all-purpose cleaner. It does smell really, really nice. Also, a half decent bottle as well with a decent trigger spray. Nice one, Sam's, for that. It's got a measuring guide on the side as well. When it comes to the shampoo, once again, really, really lovely smelling stuff this is. Yeah, that's a real, I mean, everything smells of fruit to me, to be honest with you. It's quite a sweet smell, makes for a nice experience, and it's got one of these on it, so you can, it doesn't just glug out. It's got this like little cap thing. You can just do a few squirts, a couple of decent sized squirts in the bucket. It's probably about 20-25ml in there. Produce a decent amount of lather, and there's a fair amount of lube there as you touch the panel. Bearing in mind this car's not really been looked after that great, it made the washing fairly easy, to be honest with you. It's not the most sudsiest of shampoos, I have to admit, but it does have a decent amount of cleaning power. So that was the shampoo. Now, when it comes to drying the car, you can use this as a rinse aid, which is what I did. It didn't mark, it was great on the glass. And instantly you can tell when you put your towel over, you can feel it on the panel. You can feel there is some protection there. There's some slipping action going on, and you know you're already going to start building the protection up. Now, people are going to be watching this and thinking, hang on a minute, you put spray wax on that as well. Sure, that's not going to bond. Remember, as you're putting these types of products on, they're not so much coatings, are they? This is like for the maintenance side of things. You just add in protection levels. We'll get to the spray wax in a minute. So the actual exterior detailer, fantastic as a drying aid. It sped things up no end. The roof, which is like a giant lunchbox, to be honest with you, it sped it up no end. Just a few spritz of this, done. Towel, and also used a blower later on with the nooks and crannies as well. Right, when it comes to the spray wax, okay, now, these are quite old-fashioned, these. I believe these are probably bigger in the States, to be honest with you. You don't really see many spray waxes. Now, it is nice to use, but there are precautions, namely this. And this sounds daft. If you don't give that a proper depress, like give it a good yank, that trigger, don't want to yank things too hard, you end up down the doctor's, but that, if you give that a good pull, once again, it will just spray properly. This probably sounds like I'm teaching it to suck eggs. If you don't, you end up with like a large amount of residue coming out on the panel. The easiest way I found to do this is just to spray it on the cloth rather than the car. If you are going to spray it on the panels, make sure you spray it on the lower parts and then sort of work it up the side of the panel, because when it goes on the glass and the rubber, it can get a tad messy. But it is nice to use, you know, a couple of panels at a time. Let it cure. It's a wax after all, a sprayable wax. And it's quite a nice experience, to be honest with you, and it does add a sort of depth to the gloss, so I didn't mind that. But that's just a word of caution, this is pretty thick stuff, so it's got to go through a filter as well. There's a pickup pipe inside with a filter, which I do like to see in bottles. Nice touch that, putting filters in bottles. Obviously if it gets clogged, pull the filter out, clean it, back on and go again. So that was a spray wax. I'm not too sure on the longevity of that, but it does give a nice finish to the car, and it is sort of kind of like a different experience. So overall, yes, the products did perform. I'd like to see some different handles on the buckets, or maybe some different stickers, just a little bit of a pointer there. And also, bear in mind, if you are going to use the spray wax, give it a good old yank, or you end up with a little bit of a dribble. And no one likes dribbling, do they? Right, competition time. Christmas kit. This is the Christmas kit. If you want to find out the full details of what is inside this kit, I will put a link-a-doodle underneath this video, as ever. It's pretty much the same as what was in the previous sample kit, apart from some Christmas goodies, some extra Christmas goodies in there. I think there's a, I don't know, elf in there or something. Right, so that's the Christmas kit. How do you win it? All you got to do is make sure you subscribe to my channel and the Sam's Detailing channel underneath. I'll put the links to that, as well as the links to mine, and also make sure you comment underneath to be within a chance of winning this. I'd like to say a big thanks to Sam's Detailing UK for sending down all this lot, all the goodies. Don't forget, check out the competition underneath and check out all the other links, including the Amazon affiliate links and the merch store, because that goes to support the channel. Several videos coming up before Christmas, including a Christmas special and also some Christmas ideas of what to buy detailing wise, with a number of different budgets in mind. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Look after yourselves. Tell you bye.